Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Headband Jay, and today I'm going to be coming back at y'all with another video. We're going to be talking about the internet's favorite basketball player to shit on, the one and only Julian Newman. Now, I'm not exactly sure what Mr. Newman has been up to over the course of the last year, but from what I've seen on his reality TV show and also in various training videos with Pros Vision, he is still putting in work as if he is trying to be a professional player. One thing that is undoubtable about Julian Newman is his insane work ethic. This guy has easily put in more than 10,000 hours in his entire life. Like, at this point, he's probably pushing 15,000 hours with how much he trains. It is unreal how much time he has spent in the gym, and for that, I got to give him credit, and more people should recognize that at his height, the amount of work he's put in has gotten him to where he is. That players like him don't happen by accident. But, however, his game is extremely flawed, and obviously he did not have any college offers, or he would have been playing in college this last season. So at this point, I was watching a little bit of his reality show, and apparently he's been training 3 to 4 times a day, and that seems like it's in the realm of something that he would want to do. So it's such a shame that this guy never learned how to play like an actual point guard, develop any athleticism, or fix his weird looking jump shot because of all the work that he's put in. It's a little surprising to me that some of these things weren't fixed, but again, his dad is a little bit of a psychopath and maybe thought that none of these things would ever damage Julian's game. And I also think that one problem with his dad's training was that his dad has been training him to play for entertainment, not how to play actual basketball, because I don't know what his dad's intentions are. I think his dad is more in this for the money, while Julian really loves the game and really just wants to go pro. But at this point, there's only so many things he can do to improve, even with training 3 to 4 times a day. In fact, I feel like the training that he did with his dad actually hurts him in a lot of ways because the bad habits he has learned are so ingrained in his muscle memory. A situation that is similar to this was the very famous quarterback Tim Tebow. If you guys don't know who Tim Tebow is, he was a Florida Gators quarterback in the late 2010s and then Broncos quarterback during their amazing 2011 to 2012 run. But one of the big problems with Tim Tebow was that the guy, he didn't have a great understanding of the NFL game, but the bigger problem was that he wasn't accurate at all. He could not throw to save his life. And part of the problem with his throwing was that he had a weird throwing motion where he would wind up. It was a much longer throwing motion than the average quarterback. And many trainers at the professional level tried to work with him on this, but it just never worked out in an actual game situation, because he could change his throwing motion for a couple practices or maybe for a game or two, or when the game wasn't high pressure. But as soon as the game got to high pressure, he would immediately go back to his old throwing motion. Now, this did work for him for 1 year, but that was the only year that he was a starter in the NFL. After that, he fizzled out, never really played again. And now he's playing baseball and writing books, I'm pretty sure. So I feel like that's a similar situation to Julian in the sense that some of the habits that they both have are not going to be able to unlearn. No matter how much training Julian Newman does, he will probably always over-dribble a little bit. But today, I'm not going to be talking about the negative parts about Julian Newman's game. I'm going to be talking about the 4 things that I think that he can do to fix his game and to save his basketball career. Let's get it. All right, thing number 1 that Julian Newman can do to save his career: stop over-dribbling and get with a trainer who will teach him how to play like a true short king point guard. So this is one of the biggest problems with Julian Newman's game, is that he plays every single game like it's for entertainment. He doesn't just do this at celebrity events or all-star games or like all that other stuff. He really over-dribbles the shit out of the ball. I've never seen such a famous basketball player not understand a very simple concept about being a point guard. Less is more. You're supposed to minimize the number of dribbles. You are supposed to minimize the number of moves that you do. Another problem with the over-dribbling is that when he does his moves, he does them in place. And And this really shows that he was trained to play for show, because you got to understand, when you get to a higher level, especially high school varsity, pretty much anywhere, the kids are not going to fall for moves if you're not doing them while moving. The point of a crossover is not to look flashy. It's not to intimidate your defender. The point of a crossover is to get your defender away from you. You're supposed to be dribbling one way to either your left or your right, and then you cross over back the other way to get the defender off of you. Crossovers are a reaction to what the defender is doing. It is not something that you can do for show. And if you want to play at the highest level, yeah, you can have flashy moves here and there, but they all have to be practical and have to be able to be used in a game. So what Julian Newman needs to do is to get with a trainer who can teach him how to play like a real point guard. If you look like guys like Akil Carr, who's 5'6", the same height as Julian Newman, maybe even a little more frail in frame, even though Akil Carr is more athletic, he's the same size as Julian. I think there's a lot of things that Julian Newman could learn from just watching a guy like Akil Carr, watching a guy like Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy Bogues was a guy who was very unselfish with the basketball, something that Julian Newman is not. You know, you have to, at his height, you have to be a better passer than you are a scorer. Teams are going to want to use you to set up other players. If you look at guys in the NBA right now who are successful, like 5'9" Facundo Campazzo, he is great not because of his scoring ability, not because of his defensive ability. In fact, he's a large liability on defense. The reason that makes Campazzo great is because he's such a great passer. He's such a great playmaker. He can help set up other players and make them look good. Despite the fact that anyone can get a shot off on Campazzo, he actually is good at stealing the ball. And that's another thing. What he lacks what he makes up for in some areas of defense with other areas of defense. So that's the point that I'm trying to get across here, is that if you want to be in the NBA and you're under 6 foot, you need to learn how to play like a true point guard. You cannot just be shooting all these deep threes and doing all these fancy moves, trying to get oohs and ahs from the crowd and expect it to work. The only exception I've seen of a great scorer in the NBA who was very short was Isaiah Thomas. But Julian Newman needs to get with a trainer who can help him learn all the secrets, tips, and tricks of playing as a small point guard at that next level. With the training he's been doing recently, it looks like his trainers have been helping him try to just learn how to play like more of a normal basketball player, which I think is a good move. So that's point number 1. Stop over dribbling and find a trainer who will help him train in the correct way, and also study players who are the same size as him or smaller than him. The second thing that Julian Newman can do to save his basketball career would be to cut off his dad and learn how to be coachable. Now, I think his dad is one of the biggest chains that is holding him back from being the player that he can truly be. Even when I watch these videos, I always notice his dad in the background. Jamie Newman, you got to learn how to chill out. Julian is 19 going on 20. He can handle his own training sessions. He has his own car. I know that from the Newman reality show. You got to let this kid be himself and learn how to train without you in the background. I don't understand why you always got to be there. It's kind of weird. You're always creeping in the background. I don't get it. He's also got to learn, Julian Newman also has to learn how to be coachable. I don't know how this is going to translate to any other coach. It seems like he takes the advice that he gets in these training sessions well, but working with a trainer is much different than working with an actual team basketball coach. When you're working with a team coach, he's going to yell at you, he's going to degrade you sometimes, he's going to call you out on all your bullshit, especially at the college and pro level. I'm pretty sure Julian's college hosts are done because 1, he didn't get any scholarships, and 2, he already has his own brand, so I'm pretty sure he can't play in college. But at the pro level, coaches are going to go hard on you, and I don't know how he's going to react when a professional coach is calling him out, because he's so used to just being coached by his dad. So I have no idea how that's going to translate. And obviously, if any of you have seen how Julian interacts with his dad, it looks like a very unhealthy relationship between player and coach when they interact with each other. It always ends with someone yelling at the other person, or both of them yelling at each other, or both of them freaking out. So basically, we have no idea how Julian is going to handle having another coach than his dad. His dad is the only coach he knows, and as a result, when familiarity breeds contempt, he is comfortable with pretty much saying anything to his dad. So this one is more of just, he definitely needs to distance himself from his dad, and for his own sake, I hope that he can be coachable, because we've never seen him with a coach other than his dad. So until that happens, we won't know if he can handle being coachable. The third thing Julian Newman can do to save his basketball career is to learn how to create contact on layups, finish around the rim, and also just get better at his overall game and shot selection. One of the biggest problems with Julian Newman's shot selection is that this guy would rather pull from 40 feet than find an easier shot. He would rather not use screens and over dribble. The thing is that he does create contact with his dribbling, but he's dribbling with his head down. You have to know how to create that contact, then back away from it, then create that contact again and go up for a layup. That is something that he can work with a trainer to learn how to finish layups better. Layups are definitely the weakest part of his game, and as a small player, especially as a point guard, you need to be at least somewhat of a threat in the paint, because if you can only shoot 40-footers and if you airball half of them, no professional team is ever going to take you. So yeah, that is point number 3 that I'm making, is that he has to learn how to finish better around the rim, and if he can finish it better around the rim, I know that this will improve his shot selection, which are 2 things he's really going to need if he wants to play at the next level. The fourth thing Julian Newman could do to save his basketball career is find a place where he thrives. Whether this is the Harlem Globetrotters, other entertainment basketball, street basketball, a lower pro league, maybe a league started by Overtime. I think I heard something about Overtime starting their own league. You know, he needs to find a place where he can thrive and be a good player, because the more that he distances himself from his dad and the more that he practices the things that he needs to be a pro, it doesn't really matter what level he does it at, as long as he's doing it the right way. If he wants to make it to the NBA, he's going to have to take a very untraditional route. Some guys go to college for 4 or 5 years and then go to the NBA. He's going to have to do this untraditional route for 4 or 5 years, and he's already spent a year of it just training. So at this point, he's got to get back out there and playing. You don't want to pull a LiAngelo Ball and not ever get back on the court. It's been years since we've seen LiAngelo Ball play. I'm going to be making another video about that soon and what he could have done to save his career. But I digress. Julian needs to find a place where he can thrive as a player and where he can have a good coach, a good situation. Shit, I mean, even a good semi-pro league in America at this point would be good for him. Because here's the thing. No matter where Julian Newman goes, he is going to bring in fans. Because whether you love him or hate him, people want to either see him win or fail, and that is going to generate ticket sales. Damn, that was a bar. But Julian Newman needs to go to a place where he can thrive as a player, and he should not really care. As long as he's getting paid, and as long as it's nothing too low, as long as this isn't like a... As long as it's not like a rec league, and as long as he's getting paid and it's a professional league, he should not care where it is, because he should just be thankful to have that opportunity to play. And as I stated at the beginning of my point, is that if he doesn't think that actual professional basketball is going to go work out, he should definitely try out for the Harlem Globetrotters or a street ball team, or just something where he can really showcase his skill. Because that's the thing about Julian Newman. He's not a good basketball player, but he's a very skilled basketball player. So he may have to go somewhere where that benefits him better if he tries to do this for another year or so and there's no offers on the table. But only time will tell if that will be the case. Alright guys, and those are the 4 things that I believe Julian Newman can do to save his basketball career. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of my points today, and let me know if you think Julian has what it takes to be a pro. I think he does if he can fix his game. Thank you guys so much for listening. It's your boy Headband Jay, signing off.